I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another very important episode of Q-Tip and the Short Guy via Zoom this time. Q-Tip.
I'm Dee.
Oh, and I'm the Kid Dre. Damn, I forgot that shit. Anyways, proceed.
Well, we're a little rusty. So with the things that are happening in the world today, we decided that we wanted to just talk about what's going on as far as Black Lives Matter, race, and just all the craziness that's happening right now. We do have two guests with us, and I'm about to let them in right now. Woo! And start this conversation. So let me
do it. I feel like there he is. Hey! Who else we got here? Gbatoh, I don't think your speaker's on or your mic's on.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
Hey, what's up? How you guys doing? Do I have to put I don't like my background. You know, I'm in my room right now. I had to figure this. Should I put a background on the back?
I don't think anybody cares, man.
Hopefully nobody tries to barge in. But anyways, how you guys doing?
Good.
How's quarantine life treating you? I know it's been an inopportune time with stuff we're going to talk about today, but
yeah, it seems as though that has almost dissipated completely. But
that's how the government works.
Pretty much, social media will have you everywhere. Who do they say to? They'll be like, "Look left while we do this over here."
He said, "I look too dark in this, man. Hold up. I need some light. Put the light on. There we go. There we go. There we go. Excellent."
So I don't know if you guys know, but like D is he's the question guy, so he's probably gonna start this off, right?
So I wanted to start off by showing this video. I don't know if you guys saw this video. Hold on.
Reason why buildings are burning is because this city, this state, would prefer preserving that white nationalism and that white supremacist mindset over arresting, charging, and helping to convict 4 officers who killed a black man. That is the reality of what we're dealing with. This is not just a few cops doing things across the country. This is not a good cop versus bad cop situation. This is Ahmaud Arbery being shot down by white men on the streets of Georgia. Breonna Taylor being killed in her home. This is in New York City, where we were until freedom. We were just in New York fighting the police officers who, in the name of social distancing, were damn near killing black young people on our streets. This is a coordinated activity happening across this nation. And so we are in a state of emergency. Black people are dying in a state of emergency. We cannot look at this as an isolated incident. The reason why buildings are burning are not just for our brother George Floyd. They're burning down because people here in Minnesota are saying to people in New York, to people in California, to people in Memphis, to people all across this nation, enough is enough. And we are not responsible for the mental illness that has been inflicted upon our people by the American government, institutions, and those people who are in positions of power. I don't give a damn if they burn down Target. Target should be on the streets with us, calling for the justice that our people deserve. Where was AutoZone at the time when Fernando Castile was shot in a car, which is what they actually represent? Where were they? So if you are not coming to the people's defense, then don't challenge us with young people and other people who are frustrated and instigated by the people you pay. You are paying instigators responding to that. They are enraged, and there's an easy way to stop it. Arrest the cops. Charge the cops. Charge all the cops. Not just some of them, not just here in Minneapolis. Charge them in every city across America where our people are being murdered. Charge them everywhere. That's the bottom line. Charge the cops. Do your job. Do what you say this country is supposed to be about, the land of the free for all. It's not been free for black people, and we are tired. Don't talk to us about looting. Y'all are the looters. America has looted black people. America looted the Native Americans when they first came here. So looting is what you do. We learned it from you. We learned violence from you. We learned violence from you. The violence was what we learned from you. So if you want us to do better, then damn it, you do better.
So that has been going viral over all social media. And we've seen this video nonstop on Snapchat, Instagram, everywhere. So what are you guys' thoughts on this video, on what she said?
We're gonna start over here with them. Go me last because you know I can talk.
You can go first. You got it.
You agree with what she said? You agree with what you?
No, all right. Let me put it. The feeling behind it, the anger, the aggression, like, yeah, no. Fuck all of this. Fuck all of you guys who are going to work and just where is this man going? Taking everybody's money, not standing by us when we need you to stand by us. If you want us to spend our money here, I get that. And I get like, oh, you're scared of what's going on right now. Good, you deserve to be scared, just as we're scared to walk down the fucking street and sleep in our own beds and everything that black people fear. My thing is just like, I feel like all that burning down the building shit is so counterproductive though. Like, why? That's the only thing. I'm just like, why are we stealing shit? That don't really seem to help the cause, in my opinion. You know?
Okay, so yeah, I would have to agree with what you're saying. My aunt told me, I think it was yesterday, that the only way the real change is going to come about is changing the legislation, changing the law. And I don't agree that looting and rioting is going to help that cause. I understand. Earlier today, I was watching the news and a lady said you can't tell people how to express that anger that they're feeling. So I understand it. I don't agree with it. I don't think it's helping the situation. However, I think it is causing people to open up their eyes and pay attention more.
I think I'm in the middle ground area between both you guys. So I understand where you're coming from, where you're talking about the topic of like people like looting and stealing from places, stealing from small business, smashing that. Like that just is, like you said, it's counterproductive. But on the contrary, I think it's not necessarily the action, but it's the concept of that this is the only way they can feel heard. You know what I'm saying? Like there are numerous of accounts where police brutality has been either brushed under the rug or black justice has been scrutinized or not liberated. So this is their only way of being heard and acting out in some type of vicious way. Because to be honest, bro, when Trayvon Martin, I was alive, we were all alive when Trayvon Martin got shot. It was like, oh, all right, he got shot. It was crazy. You see on the news, and then trial goes, George Zimmerman gets exonerated and go back to normal. We had a couple protests, blah, blah, blah. But now people are actually seeing that like, yo, enough is enough. So
yeah. And that makes sense because it's like, damn, man, this is happening again. This is another black person who just got killed. And it looks like there's no justice. So like, how many more times are we going to go through this? How many more quiet protests are we going to have before we start acting the way that we feel? And like I said, I understand completely the aggression behind all of it. But it's just like, dude, you're smashing windows of places that have Black Lives Matter stickers and posters and like, we stand with you. It's like, why are you destroying those businesses that are supporting you when the problem and what her video was is those other places aren't supporting us? You know what I'm saying? And like same thing like with like, all right, so it's very clear we're all from Rhode Island. So what happened this morning, okay, well,
Barbados.
we are.
Yeah.
What happened this morning in Providence, if you watch the news clips, it's like when it first started, the police were just standing there. You know, they were like watching them destroy that cruiser. That cruiser set on fire. They were watching it burn with them. But it's when everything was like, oh, y'all are gonna break into the mall and do illegal against the law shit that we're not allowing you to do. Like, why did you not stop at the police cruiser? That's when we had to put the forces in, is what they were saying, and it's just like that's when they took it too far. I was there for the police cruiser burning. I was like, that is symbolic, because the problem is the injustice in the officer not being reprimanded for murdering a man, because that's what he did. He murdered somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that, and I was all for it. But it was like, man, these teenage boys just broke into the mall to steal some damn shoes, and that was not part of it. That was not part of the cause.
My issue that I'm having with the rioting is who's choosing the places to burn down. What is the reason behind it? She said that Target and certain places aren't standing with them, but they've been burning down and looting like black stores, black family-owned businesses. So I'm like, where's the line? Where do you decide that this is no longer helpful, that it's hurting the community? And we've been seeing that there've been like white supremacists been injected into the crowds, like helping to stir up stuff. So I'm like, you don't know, you know? And it's making it look bad for everyone.
And it's hard because it's like we follow like sheep, like social media, not we and specifically, but like a lot of people just follow what's going on in the crowd. Like they'll see something on social and they'll just do it because if that's how their minds are programmed to follow what they're told to do. And that's what people are hoping for, those people that come from out of the city, out of the state, to start these riots or these protests. And then it turns to this because it's like, well, we can get you here to do what we want you to do. And it's going to turn into this ugly mess. And then people are going to, unfortunately, start getting shot at. Like, I feel like what happened this morning could have been so much worse if it was in a different state. Because in Rhode Island, we have some, like, I feel like our police system, like Providence specifically, are pretty decent cops, because there's not too many stories that come out of Providence where it's like, damn, you heard about that cop that just randomly killed some. Like, we don't really have that. But other cities, other states, man, if that shit would have happened there, it would have been so much worse. Like, the only thing that burned was that police cruiser, and somewhere else it would have been like a fucking shit show. So I mean, I feel like that's what some of those people coming from out of state are trying to incite, is those riots where it's out of control and people get killed, which I don't know why. But.
I think there's two sides to rioting. There's like the side where you're trying to make a statement, like setting the police cruiser on fire. That's a statement.
Mm-hmm.
But there's people who are breaking into stores, like you said, just to break into stores and steal things. Like, you don't know how many people I saw on Snap, like, oh, yo, I just robbed Expressions. Look at all the clothes that I got.
Hold up.
What?
Somebody sent me this today, okay? The dude said, nigga, I wasn't out there for Floyd. I hate all these people saying this ain't what he would have wanted, saying that this shit ain't how you're supposed to protest. Nigga, I'm trying to take advantage of what's going on. Fuck the cops, fuck Prov. I just want free shit. I ain't out here trying to protest. I'm out here trying to come the fuck up. I get what happened to dude. It was sad and it's not right, but I got my own issues that I don't give a fuck about what's going on everywhere else. I was doing this shit for me and only me. Get that straight. That's pretty right there. I mean, I cleaned up the grammar because it was terrible, illiterate, but nah, like they're posting the shit. They're like, nah, I wasn't there to protest. I was there to get free shit. So that's what they're doing. It's not even like I'm coming up with it. Is there?
I think that's the problem with the whole protest. That's the perception. So the perception is that some people, they're ruining the view. They're ruining what we actually really want to happen. is these basically, because my brother's a cop. He was actually out there yesterday. He went back to work today. He was telling me that it was literally like these little kids trying to, like you said, on the come up, man. I think that is ruining the purpose that we need to be heard, going back to the rioting and stuff like that. So I think that part of the group, but I just think we can't necessarily categorize that whole movement about the looting, because basically the reason, like some of the facts that we got from the Target, is that the Target was not giving out milk to these, what's it called? So if you're not going to support that, it's like, oh, if you're not with us, then F you. But to go into the mall and smash all these businesses, it made no sense. Like these mom and pop stores are the ones that eventually hold us down as a kid, yo. These were like, we weren't paying big money to buy shoes at Foot Locker or whatever. These were the cheap places we would be able to find our clothes and stuff. If you were to come back now and vandalize everything, it makes no sense though, because like my brother was telling me, I was overhearing while he was in the shower. He said the car doesn't necessarily cost that much. It's like all the accessories, and that can sum up to around like $80,000. But people don't understand is, where's that $80,000 coming from? The city of Providence. So the money that we complain about, oh, taxes come out of our paycheck too much, we're gonna go pay for that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
all that stimulus check.
Yeah, we're gonna pay for it. So it's just counterintuitive.
And that's, I feel like that was just a minor oh damn, I can't even think of the word. But setting the cruiser on fire, it was just a minor thing to get the point across, and that could have been easy. Like you said, it's a cop car, dude. That shit does not cost that much money, and with the amount of people in the state, it would have been paid off no problem, real quick. But then you go do this extra shit, and it's like, and now we all have to pay for that. And
now there's a curfew.
And now there's a curfew. Like, because being on quarantine and lockdown and shit for 2 months wasn't bad enough. Now we can't do shit again. Thank you very much. Man. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm going to go back to work tomorrow, and they're going to be like, oh, by the way, shit has changed again. Like, what the fuck?
Well, how is that going to work? So, the store closes at 10.
Nah, we close at 8.
Oh, still?
Yeah, we're not changing that. They're staying at 8. We're staying at 8, but it's like, we don't stay till 8. We stay till 10. So it's like, am I supposed to just bounce? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, damn, thank you for that. But what else, D? What else you got?
What really gets me is that like people are still planning on doing another riot. Like there's been word that to stay out of Garden City, stay away from Warwick Mall, because there might be another riot happening. And I'm like, why?
My question is, how is this actually going to have a change on the system? Because it's the system that's the issue. So you burn down the mall, you loot or whatever. How is this helping the change at the end of the day? More people are out of jobs, and usually it's the minorities that rely on those jobs anyways to get money for their families. So it's kind of like, to me, honestly, I don't understand the reasoning. I understand the anger, but also I guess I have a different perspective growing up in the Caribbean. In a Caribbean island, I feel like I've never been a minority until I came to live over there. And that was like a huge change for me, and just seeing the system. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, if the outcome that everyone wants is change, my first thing would be, how do I get there? If I burn down this cop car symbolism to help it, I understand that. If I go loot all the stores in the mall, is it going to help it? No, it's not.
Yeah. I mean,
in that purpose.
No, go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, in that purpose, I don't necessarily think it's like I said, I don't think it's them just looting. I think that, like, all the history things that we talked about or learned about in school and stuff, how the American Revolution, give me liberty, give me death. They basically, in local terms, they had to put the pressure on them. They had to apply the pressure to them. So I think this is a way for them to apply the pressure. It may not be necessarily the right way to people to be stealing from your neighbor, but I think I'm trying to apply the pressure on these such systems should suffice. Like, I know I've been reading Twitter, they were saying that, like, in 1968, Martin Luther King died, and they rioted for 6 days straight. And after that, the Civil Rights Act of 1968 came. So that's most of the things that people would be able to do. So,
I mean, for me, I wasn't really aware I was a minority until I got like teenage years. Because I grew up with my white side of the family mostly. So I never really had that disadvantage of being like knowing that I was black and having a struggle. So like I can see like both sides of like the anger and the come on, that's not how you do it type shit. So like I feel like if we want change, it has to come from the level-headed. Like my big thing is always I hate when people are categorized in general. Like I don't like when people are like all. So like I don't like when people are like all men, all white people, all black people, all cops. I feel like that's where it needs to start, is when we're like, okay, not all cops are bad cops. Not all white people are racist. Not all black people are criminals. Like if we can get people to understand that's a good start, because that's when the hatred will stop. Because I feel like it will just start something new. You know what I'm saying? If all black people are like all white people, I hate all white people, then we're just starting more. We're just continuing racism. You know what I'm saying? So now instead of white people coming at us because of the color of our skin, we got everybody going against them because of the color of their skin too. Which I get it, being what happened to our ancestors in the past. It's like, and so fucking what? That's what they did to us. But being petty does not correct being petty. You know what I'm saying? And being angry and showing them like, oh, you think I'm a violent criminal? Okay, watch. I'm gonna set shit on fire and steal shit and break shit, which is criminal activity, is also not gonna prove our point. No matter how angry we are, I feel like we need to learn how to conduct that into a more positive protest. Like what happened at the State House on Saturday, I thought it was great. There were signs, there were people supporting, there was the guy who was speaking to the crowd, and it was a positive protest, and I think it went well, and that's what we should be doing. I get, back then it worked when Martin Luther King Jr. was shot and killed, they protested, and that worked for them. But I feel like it's 2020 now, and I don't think that it will work the same way now. I just feel like we gotta figure something else out, but not everybody understands what I'm saying.
But is there a difference between protesting and rioting? Because I've looked it up, and there's a difference, and I don't think a lot of people know that there is a difference between it. And the media isn't even showing you a lot of the peaceful protesting that's been happening, which has been a huge set. They've really been focusing in on the looting and the rioting. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering which one will be more effective for the change. And I probably think maybe the protest is the way to go.
Well, the reason they don't be focusing on the news and media on the positive is the same reason that they went and they dug up that man's criminal history of shoplifting after he was shot by those white guys when he was going for a jog, because they need to criminalize us. So it's like, oh well, they kind of deserve what's happening to them. You know what I'm saying? So all that positive protesting that we were doing, yeah, they're not gonna put that on social media and be like, or the news and be like, this happened today and this is what's going on. And but no, they're gonna show us burning shit down and acting a fool, because that's how they portray to the rest of the world that we are exactly what they think we are. You know what I'm saying? Which is unfortunate.
And that doesn't help the process either.
Nah.
Like basically, people burning police cars down. They're like, damn, that's how black people act.
Exactly. And like, I don't know, man. It's like sometimes I just like watch that shit and I'm just like, how about you try not doing that shit and see what it gets you? Like, it's just, that's the same thing with any type of angry, negative behavior. It's just like, well, how has punching somebody in the face gone for you before? Not well. It's gotten you arrested. So maybe let's not try that approach. Let's try something else, you know?
Yeah, I just think they need to. I think the change will come if the people are able to educate the people that are ignorant. Because I think I hate, like you just said, like when you were saying that you hate when people categorize people and say like all white people are racist. Contrary that I had to that is like all people may not be racist, but most white people are probably ignorant to their privilege, and that may cause some racial transgressions. So I think if we're able to educate these people on what privilege they have, because they obviously do have a privilege. I went to a predominantly white school, and I've seen it every day how certain teachers, even the school systems, treat us, not even treat white people, treat us colored people. So if we can be able to educate these people and know that they have a privilege and that we're not treated the same, I think that's when we'll be able to finally come together.
And that's honestly where our non-color people allies come in. Like if you ever see any of the protests, there's a lot of Caucasian people who are like, hey man, even we know we have this type of entitlement and we know that it's wrong. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, nah, but that can't come from us. That has to come from them. That has to come from a white person telling a white person, you got to understand, just because of the shade of your skin, just because the amount of melanin in your skin versus his skin makes you have more of an advantage. That's the problem. That's what some people are not understanding, where it's just like, yeah, but I do this and this. And like I seen a video of a girl, it was on TikTok. I'm not ashamed to say that I be on TikTok. But anyways, she was saying that she had a bunch of friends. None of them were white, and they used to smoke, and they always had her hold their stuff. And she's like, why would you have me hold it? If we get caught, we're all gonna get searched. And then she's like, and then it happened. We got stopped, and I'm the only one that didn't get searched. And that's when she realized that she had white privilege. Good job, Dion. Anyways, so some people like don't know it. Some people do. Some Caucasian people don't know it. Some Caucasian people do know it. Like I said, my father is very aware of it, and he has the same fear as my mother, who is black, when it comes to me. And he's always sending me. My father's always sending me links. Like one time, he sent me this link that was like how to react when you get pulled over. He's like, yep, get pulled over, already have your wallet on the dashboard, hands on the wheel. I'm like, damn, Dad. I was like, first off, I don't be doing anything to get pulled over. Chill out. He's like, yeah, but if you do. So like, it's unfortunate. My father is one of those people who knows his privilege and his entitlement, and he does his best to use it. Wow, my fat ass cat just moved the entire table. He does his best to use his advantage to get messages across to anyone who was willing to be on our side. You know, and I think that's what we really need in those protests, not the riots, but in the protests. I think that we need is for the good cops to stand with us, and the Caucasians and the Spanish and Hispanic and Puerto Rican and Cape Verdean and Islanders, everyone here to stand by our side if they support the cause. Because right, it doesn't look good when you have all the cops with their batons and they're suited up ready for a riot. And so it looks exactly like what everybody else is saying. It's us against the cops. You know what I mean? So yeah. I think that they just need to be standing with us. Be like, man, fuck this shift. I'm taking a knee. I'll be dope as shit.
See, that's the thing. I think we need to do that and educate these white people. Because at first, you know what I'm saying? Like going back to saying that how I went to a predominantly white school, I thought that people just already know that the N-word is bad. You know what I'm saying? But realizing, having class, because there's a racial incident where a student was called the N-word in his home, and then the student ended up telling the principal and putting it on Facebook and getting some national attention. And the school emailed the kid who they called the N-word to, and they were like, "We need you to take this down. This is bad publicity for the school." So we're like, "What the hell are you like? Why are you doing that?" So, and then we had like a whole forum about that.
Was
But
the kid, were they black?
yeah, so the white girl called the black kid the N-word, get this N-word out of my house or whatever, and has a racial incident. But the fact is, like, they just don't know. Like, many of the questions was, I don't know why I can't say it. Even though we know why they can't say it, there are some times where they don't understand the psyche. So I think if we people can educate these people on their privilege that they have in the system, how it's been corrupt for us people of color, we see a change.
Yeah, but it's not, and we're young enough. I mean, I know I'm old as shit, but we are young enough to start that.
Wait, on a side note, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
All right, keep going.
I feel like we're young enough to start that behavior. I mean, I have a child. I called him today, because I had to make sure, because that boy likes to be on YouTube and watching videos, so I had to call him. I was like, hey, I gotta remind you, man, you're black. Just so you know. This is what I was like, here's right from wrong. Here's the cause. This is what's going on. He's pretty well aware. I like to teach my son not to hate. So I don't. There's a bunch of things that I've expressed in previous episodes where I don't really allow him to say certain things like that's for girls or that's gay instead of I don't like that or it's stupid. So like I'm very critical with him when it comes to saying things that seem like hate. So I talk to him about it all the time. I'm like, listen, we're not mad at white people. We're mad at racist people. You know what I'm saying? You got to remember this about, we're not going to jump to the conclusion and think when you walk by a cop or you drive by a cop that you're about to get pulled over. But I need you to be aware that it's a possibility because we have darker skin. So I had that conversation with him today, and it's like, man, if we just teach that, if we could all just teach our children, because that's the next generation in line. The kids become adults, and that's who takes over. So it's like if we can teach our kids not to hate somebody, just like parents way before us we're teaching, like white Caucasians were teaching their children, and that's how race started. You know what I'm saying? Is like they were teaching their kids that the black little girl in your class is bad because of her skin color, then let's teach the opposite. Just because that girl in your class is black don't mean she's bad. Just if you like her, you like her. If you fuck with her, you fuck with her. If she's a bitch, it's not because she's black. It's just because she's a bitch. You know what I'm saying? That's what we got to be teaching. It has nothing to do with skin color, man. You could be a douchebag and be Caucasian, which that's more likely than you might want to believe. Some white people can be a little douchey, but black people could also be assholes. But anyways, I digress. But it does. We all are young enough. We can all be teaching that lesson. We have the platform. That is the best part of this generation. We have the platform. We have the means. We have the internet. We can do these things. We can get our voices heard. We just got to push for it. We gotta start a cause and mean the cause, and like you gotta put in the work. But we can all do it. We can set that. We could get our word out there if we just put the work in. We can't sit back and just like, nah, whatever. This is how I feel, but I ain't gonna do shit about it.
The purpose of the Black Lives Matter movement is that they're trying to get. I think that's the whole purpose of the Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah,
they're trying to get change. They're trying to get reform. They're trying to get our voices out there, but it doesn't seem like anything is happening because the same things keep happening over and over again.
That is true. That goes back to like what I was saying about the being fed up. They're like, yo, we done the protest. You still shot somebody else. Yo, we did the protest. You still went into that. Yo, that story of that little girl getting killed in her bed is like,
what little girl?
What's that? What's she was like 13, right? No, maybe I'm wrong.
Who?
Never mind. Don't listen to me.
No, you got me interested now. What do you mean? I wasn't fact checking you. I want to know. That's crazy.
I remember a story of the cops busting into a house.
Taylor?
Oh, you talking about Breonna Taylor? Yeah, the rest of her soul. She was like a nurse that used to help.
Like 30, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then that's also bad. That's also bad. But when I was in my classes, I'm not gonna have to go into detail, but the guy who was leading my class, he said something about it, but I guess maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I kind of half listened to that class. I only listened to what was important. But anyway, still, like you were in your own house. There was, I feel like somebody shot somebody that was in their house because they thought it was their house, and they didn't get arrested or anything. And
I think you're merging two different stories that I remember.
Yeah.
So one is the lady in her house, and then the other one is where a cop came to the wrong apartment, and she found a black man in it. It was an identical apartment to hers, and she shot him.
That's the story I was. That's the story I was talking about. Yeah. The one where the cop thought it was her house. Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. But I really remember somebody telling me a story about a little kid getting killed, and I just maybe I'm just thinking of a domestic issue instead. Yes, yeah. No, I'm okay. Never mind. Don't worry about that. It was a domestic class. So it was a domestic issue, and now I remember. Forget that. But yeah, even that's bad. The cop didn't get in trouble for doing that, and it was the man's house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now all of that just happened. Forgot my fucking point. Somebody talk about something. I'll get back to it. God.
All right. I think I'll interject here, and I'll just talk about my experience, which will be a little different to all of your experiences, since I was coming from a place where, as I said, not that racism doesn't exist here. There are just few white people, but they all happen to be kind of at the top of all the major businesses here. So they basically control a lot of the financial institutions, the hotels, and the marketplaces here in Barbados. But what I will talk about is coming to America and just remembering my mom telling me, okay, so you're going to go to America, you can't have a black hoodie. There are things that she was telling me before I even came to the States that had me, I was kind of like, what do you mean I can't wear a black hoodie? She's like, you can't have a hoodie on, like you can't walk outside. She forbid me. She made me leave my black hoodies at home because she was scared that I would go and get shot. And I mean, that's not a normal thing. Like you don't go to a country, you think to yourself, yeah, this person is going to get murdered. That's my mom's and my family's. When I came over to America, and first I went to Georgia for a while, probably about 10 years with my grandmother. And in Georgia, I just remember the first time I saw police officers walking down the street. And I got so afraid. I didn't know why. I felt like I was never going to be seen again. I was just going down to Chick-fil-A, and I just remember feeling a dread inside of me. And my mom told me, that is not normal. You should never be afraid of the people that are supposed to protect you. That's just how America has come to be right now. The state of America. And I thought to myself, Mom, this is a scary place. Imagine that the police, and I mean, they're like thugs, like thugs on the street. And I didn't fear them. I thought, I have a better chance of living being around them than I do going to police. And I just thought that was such a crazy experience. Just that my first memory of the police. When I came to Rhode Island now, my first time, I was telling Dee earlier that in my entire life, I've been pulled over twice by the police, and it's only been in America and Rhode Island, and it was for no reason. It wasn't like my tail light was blown. As soon as I saw her, my cousin said, this is an area that I usually get pulled over. My cousin, she's black, she has locks. She says she's been pulled over so many times in her life, she can't even count them anymore. And that's just the state of America right now. And that's when I knew that something was fundamentally wrong with the system in America, where just from the color of my skin, I didn't feel comfortable with the police, or I knew immediately, even with doing nothing. She just saw my eyes and she just pulled me over. Like, I was like, wow, this is new. It's a new reality for me. So I don't know what to do with that. I just knew it meant that there was change necessary. For sure.
That's crazy because like I just that experience is like I've lived in this state my entire life, and I've been pulled over twice. Twice. The first time, ain't nobody had a seatbelt on in my car, except for me. The second time, the cop thought that I wasn't wearing a seatbelt, and when I said to him my brother died in a car accident because of that, he sent me on my way. So like it's crazy that people experience that, and I'm just like, not over here, you know? Like I don't like Gbatoh, have you ever been just pulled over?
See, I can't speak on to that because, like I just said, my brother's in law enforcement.
So you got privilege.
We all have different privileges, clearly.
He's got that sticker on his license plate that says somebody in my family is an officer.
Yeah, on the front windshield. So, like, that's why I've been quiet on this one but I understand. Yeah, like I've been quiet on this one because, like, the only time I've been pulled over has been my brother. So it's like a different but I understand that feeling you may have. Like I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Queen and Slim.
No. Shush.
All right, you guys know what it's about, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So so like watching that, like you can see the aura of this dude, like you just said, while in front on the dashboard, hands on the wheel, like it's crazy. And I remember, like the privilege. That's why I'm going back to like the privilege that people like the people that don't, people that are not of color have. Like you were walking down the street, you were more scared of the police than actual gangsters that have guns, as opposed to the police are supposed to be able to protect you. And an example that I gave about white privilege is I have a friend who's a teammate. He was speeding on the highway and he got pulled over for something. And he started like disrespecting the cop. Probably you?
Probably no. I say he got pulled over probably because he was speeding, bro.
Oh yeah, and he started disrespecting the cop. Like he was like, "Yo, why'd you pull me over?" He's like, "Oh, look at this. You're an effing bozo." Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, you have the opportunity to disrespect a cop and live to tell the story.
Yes.
We don't have that option.
Yeah.
We may not make it home the next day. So it's crazy.
Yeah, I be seeing posts. Like again, I be on TikTok. So sometimes there'll be some Caucasian people that are like, look, man, this cop just pulled me over, and the cop's just sitting there smiling as they're getting recorded. But it's like, bro, do you know what would happen if a black person got pulled over and reached for their phone, let alone got it out and recorded them? It would have been a different scenario, man.
Yeah, the clip would have.
There would have been so many different. Like, granted, not all the time that happens. Like I said, the cop pulled me over. He's like, it looked like you weren't wearing a seatbelt. I was like, nope, my brother died in an accident. I always wear my seatbelt. He was like, okay, because I pulled you over, let me see your license. He went to the car, came back, he said, have a good day. You know what I'm saying? So there's some instances where it's just like, nah, man, you fucked up. I'm just letting you know you fucked up, and that's it. But other times, if it's a bad cop, they'll make that situation something else. Like me saying that could have turned into like, are you disrespecting me? Get the fuck out of the car. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So like I'm lucky that that's what happened. And I was in Johnston, which is a bunch of Caucasian people. So that could have just went south and I wouldn't have known what the fuck to do. I would have been sitting there like, somebody help me.
I remember I took a Uber. I was coming from downtown Prov and I was heading probably to Pawtucket, and the Uber driver was telling me about all of his experiences. He was a black Uber driver, and he said that he had his phone set so that when he said a specific word, I don't remember the word, but he showed me, he said the word, and his phone just automatically starts recording. He said he's been pulled over so many times because he's black, he's out driving late into the morning, running Uber fares, and he just always wanted to be able to record any conversation with a police without actually touching his phone. And I was thinking the fact that you have to think of so many precautions, you know, I'm sure there are a lot of white Ubers out there that has never once thought about the things they have to do if they get pulled over by a police, because all they need is their license and they know that they're good. But black people, you know, you have to think of the reason. You have to be able to show it. Make sure everything in your car is up to standard. Your insurance is good. It's just crazy.
It's so crazy because it's like, I do not want to have to teach my son, like, hey, remember you're black, but I still have to. And it's just like, yo, I wish that wasn't a fucking thing. Like, I really wish that when I was a kid, my mom didn't have to let me know, hey, so you know, I know your dad's white, but you're still black. Like, I wish that wasn't something that, and like I said, I didn't realize, like, my disadvantage in life until I was a teenager. Like, I was like 15, 16 years old, and a group of white college kids drove by, threw a pumpkin at me, a whole fucking pumpkin, and called me a nigger. And I was like, oh, that's different. I've never felt that before. And it hit me. And then I started like, that made me open my eyes. I started realizing, I was like, yo, when I go to the CVS, people be eyeing me. I'm like, yo, when I be standing at bus stops, the white women who are standing there, like, they're not also taking a damn bus, move away from me. Like, I started peeping shit after that moment. And I was like, damn, mom, you're right. I'm black. It was crazy. And I wish I didn't have to have that experience with my son, but I don't want him to be 15, 16 years old and then something like that happen. And it's just like, boom, smack in the face. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, what about you? You got any stories, experiences you want to share with us?
Not necessarily with like cops or anything, but just like racist people being racist or stereotyping. Oh, you want to hear my story?
Yes, I want to hear the story. We're waiting for that. This is exactly what we're waiting for.
So, there was one time I was driving home from this was a cop story. One time I was driving home from a concert with my sister. We were in the last stadium, and we were driving through Pawtucket. Yo, those cops in Pawtucket, man.
That's where I got stopped both times.
Word?
Yep.
Oh, never going there then.
One of the cops pulled me over and started questioning me. They're like, "Oh, were you drinking? Like, where you coming from? Were you drinking?" Fine. And I was probably there for like a good half an hour, just waiting there. Took my license, and my ID, waiting for a good half an hour, and then he was like, "All right, go ahead." And I was like, "Okay, that's mad weird." There's been a time when I was apartment hunting with my roommate, and we were in a white area, and this lady, she was like, "Who are you guys? Why are you guys here?" And we were like, "We're looking at this apartment." And this was the real estate agent who was going to show us the house. So she was like, who are you guys? Why are you guys here? We were like, "Oh, we're here to look at the apartment." She was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, because people have been parking in this area and we don't really know who they are and all this stuff." And we're like, "But we called you and said that we were here, so why?" What? That's
She was
I have so many issues with this. I'm like, why do you need to give people an explanation for who you are and why you're there? Like, I don't know why people in America, especially Caucasians, think that they have the right to ask you and deserve an answer. Like, you can ask me whatever you want. I don't need to answer you.
Right.
Like,
yeah, like, Karen, I don't need to tell you why I'm sitting in my own car.
Exactly. People always think that they have the right to ask and that they can do like citizen arrest, and it's like so crazy to me. It's because here, if somebody asks you a question and you don't want to answer them, you just walk along. You don't care. You curse them. You just keep it going. But over there, it could end really badly if a white person asks you a question like, "Why are you here?" and you don't answer. They're gonna call the emergency line. They're not even gonna call it the non-emergent hotline for the police. They're gonna call 911 and say, "There's like an African American man right here," and I'm like, the fact that they think they have the right to do that is crazy. It's just so crazy. That is just a system that they've been taught. And I think what you said earlier, where you have to educate people, including white people, as to their privilege, I think that's a super important part, like going forward into the future.
Yeah, and we gotta. I will say this: not all Karens are white, but all Karens fucking suck, bro. Every one of them, all of them, goddamn, want to be in everybody's business talking about. So you're telling me that the people who are in their own yard down the street from your house, which is like basically 2 blocks away, are bothering you, and the only reason you could hear it is because you're in front of their house? Maybe you should go the fuck home. But no, Karen's gonna be on her phone like, they're too loud, I don't like it, and because Karen don't like it, they're gonna get arrested in their own backyard having a good little cookout and shit, and she just mad because she wasn't invited because she puts raisins in her potato salad or some shit.
Raisins. Raisins. People do that?
Yes, dude.
You lying, bro.
No, that is the. Let me pull up.
Can y'all confirm that? Can y'all confirm that white people put raisins in potato salad?
I've seen white people.
I'm about to Google that. Hold on one second.
Potato salad recipe. Potato soup. That's not what I wrote. All right, maybe not potato salad. Yeah, potatoes. It's potato salad, right?
Yeah. Ew. Oh my god. Oh my! I can't believe people. I don't think you can. Yeah, I don't think you can see it.
I didn't even need you to Google it. I actually knew it was a thing already. I just wanted you to see it. I actually wanted you to see it. I was like, I'm not going to say anything, but I've experienced it firsthand, so I know for sure that it's a thing.
Man, I went to. Let me tell you why. All right, let me explain this really quick. Dee knows this. He's met her. But the reason I have to be the one to tell my son that he's black is because his mom is also mixed, but she grew up like she is so whitewashed, it's unbelievable. So for one of his birthday parties, like she's so whitewashed that I said, "Hey, did you make the potato salad?" And she said yes, and I threw that shit out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was like, I don't trust you. I can't trust you. It's terrible. But I'm like, I don't eat mac and cheese or potato salad from certain people. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just saying.
I would just say that my family has a thing where we eat before we leave home. When we're going, out to certain functions, we're just gonna eat at home. We might have some drinks and some chips, but that's it.
Yeah, you got a light snack so that
we're not risking it. We're not risking it at all.
No, never risk it, man.
It depends whose house it is. Depends.
No.
Yeah, no. Nope. It does. Because I got a Portuguese family. Like they're like family to me. I go there, I fucking eat. I can eat that food because that food is bomb. But then there's other people where it's just like there's only one thing that they make that I'll probably eat, so I'm gonna eat something before I go. But that's it. It depends. It depends. Bro, I'm gonna be heated. I'm gonna be so mad if you come over.
Because you never want to take the risk of being hungry and the food not being good. That's the worst risk you can take, bro. So you just play it safe.
But just don't get full because you gotta for next time. But for next time,
the trick is to bring food, and that's the food you eat. So we usually bring like a dish, and you just eat. You eat from that dish. You just eat. It's the only thing you can really trust.
But I want to know if the food is good, so I'm not gonna eat too much, so I could pick and be like, okay, next time I come, I could eat this food. You know what I'm saying?
That's the halfway to you that's gonna risk.
That's every time I said that, if I'm in a horror fucking movie, I'm gonna be like this. I'm gonna run, but I really want to know what the sound is. So I understand.
Yeah. I mean, my family is mixed, but we still, I think even in mixed side, they've converted basically. So we all just, we know the rules. You go out, you eat from home, or you bring the food. You don't trust it, especially not in America. Sorry. I love America. Right. Especially in
listen, I went to school for culinary, so like you could trust my cooking. It'll be all right. Right, D?
Yes.
Thank you. I was like, what took you so long, bro?
He's about to choke you through the screen if you didn't say yes.
Yeah, for real. I'm like, what you mean? All right, man. Go ahead, D.
So how do you guys feel about Donald Trump referring to people in Minneapolis as thugs?
Just say it, man. First of all, I was hoping you was gonna say this. Let me go first because I'm gonna start a riot right now. He's not wrong. Because
I didn't hear the question. Could you repeat? I didn't hear the end. I heard Donald Trump and I kind of blocked out. So just
I see his face
real quick.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Donald Trump referring to people in Minneapolis as thugs?
Meaning you're talking about the rioters.
Yes.
That's what he was referring to, right? Yeah. Okay. I'm on the same page. Got to make sure because my last time I tried to bring up a story, I was fucking wrong. But anyways, like I said, he's not wrong because and somebody said this, and she's on my music Instagram, and she's a Trump supporter, and I don't really know why I still follow her. But she posted something, and it was like he's not wrong. Because police officers that do stuff that's wrong, they're thugs. Criminals that steal and do that shit are thugs. So it's like, we know what he meant when he said that. He meant because they're black. But it's like, what they did was kind of thuggy.
Dion, can you read the question one more time?
I was saying, how do you feel about Donald Trump referring to rioters as thugs?
You mean niggers? Because that's what he actually wanted to say. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I said when I said we knew what he meant. Like he meant.
No, we didn't know. Like, but
no.
But that's the whole
like I'm saying. The
part
four of us know that he meant the N-word. That's what he wanted to say. We know that.
But we know that. But there are people that go on in this world that support that guy, and they think that he's actually. They don't necessarily read between the lines, and they actually think he's referring to these rioters being thugs. But like that's what I'm saying. Like basically one thing I learned about going to school and stuff is that like racism is not as blatant as it was before. You know how like in the 1960s we learned about people like beating people up, or there's a colored bathroom and a colored drink, or colored owned businesses. It's more subtle.
No, you need to go to Georgia, buddy. If you think that, you need to go to Georgia.
Well,
I see those Confederate signs on people's houses, bro. Like I went there. Yeah, like it's not like Rhode Island. It's not like New York.
I'm telling you, man.
It's the southern. It's very subtle.
It's a very different living down there. Being down there, it was southern.
Down south is so behind. They're still back. They're still back in like hella racist time. My aunt lives down in Georgia, and it's different there. Like up north is we got it easier.
Where we lived was like Caucasians. There were no. I didn't see black people when I first went to Georgia.
What part of Georgia?
That boy got that.
Every time I was going on a jog, and I just was like looking, and I was like, "Grandma, what are these flags? They look kind of like American flags, but they're different." She's like, "Confederate flags." I haven't been living there. I didn't know what Confederate, but then I went to what do you call it with the horses and like what do you call it? Where like rodeo. I went to like a rodeo. Because I thought that would have been interesting. Yeah, man. It's very different. That was like they blatantly like ignored me. I went with a white person and they were talking to her, and if I asked the question or anybody that was with me asked, they acted like if we did not exist blatantly. Like we did not exist. We were not speaking. It was crazy. Racism.
Like you were beneath them.
We weren't beneath them. We weren't in existence. We did not exist, and it was just wild. I had never experienced anything like that in my life. Because she's a Caucasian girl that I went with. She lost it though. She like cussed them all out. She was like, "F all of you! Like, how can you ignore a person speaking to you?" And we just laughed. I was like, "Damn, that was a nice rodeo."
What's that sound?
Yeah, right. They were just like, "What is that sound? Did you hear that?"
And the thing is, my aunt was so excited to go to the rodeo and talk to the guy because she'd been like looking it up for a long time, and then to realize that he was a racist and like such a racist too, and he had like he turned around and he like put the Confederate flag on his back, bro. Like,
I would like to show him. Like, I'm not
I walked away, and I was just like, I'm in America.
Wow.
So, Gbatoh, is there any way to, after what he just said, go back to what you were saying?
What do you mean?
how you were talking about how it's like subtle segregation?
Right.
Yeah, but
back to subtle. Yeah. In Rhode Island,
geographically, I didn't finish the statement. Geographically, racism is in the Northeast is subtle because, like, down south there in Jim Crow, yeah, that happens. But up here, it's like, look at your hair. Your hair looks different.
Sorry,
your hair looks different. You know, like subtle transgressions. Even so, when I worked at my former employer, one of my supervisors. Sorry, we can edit that one out. Yeah, at my former employer, one of my supervisors would only put me with a black individual, and she referred to that person and me as being very compatible. And when I asked her what she meant by that, she looked at me and was like, you know, and
damn, bro, I gotta go to work, and like now I must look at her and be like, did you for real? Oh, I can't.
And then when the black lady said, like, confirmed it, she was like, no, don't go that way. I don't do that. You didn't have to go there. And I'm like, but bitch, that's what you meant. So yeah, that's what I mean by like more subtle. Like, it's not like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So like,
I agree. When I came to Rhode Island, I thought to myself, this place isn't right. I actually didn't experience any like blatant racism. While I was working at a bar, a name bar in North, in a bar. I remember the owners. There are only 3 black people working there, and 2 of us were guys, and the other was a female. And I just remember one night, and I'd been working there for at least maybe 2 months, and he was working there for maybe a year before me. And he is like maybe 6-something, massive dude. Like, we look completely different. And I just remember one night, the owners are like calling his name consistently, and I wasn't thinking of it. I was like washing down the bar, you know, ending, cleaning up. And then they're like, they call it really loud, and they're like, why aren't you listening to me? I'm like, me? Say his name was Shaquille. They were like, Shaquille. I'm like, I'm Hak. Like, that's not my name. And then they act like, you know, we meant you. You're the only person we can meet. I'm like, that I didn't think you were talking to me. That's not my name. And then another thing that happened at work is a white lady came in, and she reached across the bar because I was working behind the bar. I touched my hair, and like literally without asking, without giving me any notice, she just reached across and touched my hair and said, my hair is really interesting and nice. She likes it. And I was like,
that's fucking yeah.
I have never had this happen to me apart from when I went to Montreal in my life. But that was
like, you slapped her.
I was just like, I've never seen people like invade
hair. In Montreal, they got dreads and shit.
Like I was just like, did she really just reach across? Because I've heard about Americans saying like people coming and touching your hair, but I'd never like truly experienced it. And at work, I was like, I'm at work. We don't even know. It's not even like a social setting, like a party.
Yeah. She
just reached across and she thought it was perfectly fine. And she's like, your hair is so nice.
You know what's crazy? I have good hair. That's why my dad's white. My mom was like, I want my kids to have good hair. So I got good hair. I haven't experienced that. But yo, that happened to my female friends at work, where the Caucasian women that work there who did not understand their hair or the way they change it, they would do that. They would try to touch their hair, or they would ask questions that is like
triggering questions.
Bro,
don't ask that shit.
I have literally a list of things I've been asked. I twist my hair at work, and the girl asked me, she was like, she's my coworker. We worked now at this point for 3 months together. We worked the same shifts consistently, and she literally looked at me and asked me something like, isn't your hair always, my hair was twist versus having it as like an afro. And she looked at me and she's like, isn't your hair always like this? she turns to the other female coworker and asks her if she ever washed her hair. This is the black female coworker who has locks, or dreads as y'all call them. And she's like, do you wash your hair? And she looks at her and she's like, do you wash your hair?
Yeah.
What the hell? She's like, I thought you didn't wash it. I was like,
and dudes were doing it too. And like, it was at one point, our two of our female friends, the three of us, like me, Gbatoh, and Dee, have the same.
Shout out to the people who never talk about them, but
anyway. So they like to change their hairstyle. Why? Because they fucking can't. The thing that bothered me one time was there's things that dudes don't know they can't do apparently, and one of them is ask if it's a wig. And I had to sit there and have a conversation with that male where I was like, listen, you can't ask that. Not only because like it's inappropriate to ask that question.
Super disrespectful, bro.
Right, but it's like, bro, you know, like imagine you had a full beard, right? And somebody was like, "Is that shit real?" Like, yes, nigga, I put the work and I put the oils, I brushed the damn shit. Like, you know how much work this beard is? So it's like the same thing. It's like, yo, you have no idea how long it takes for them to change their hairstyle to what they want their hairstyle to be. For you to come in and be like, "Why'd you do that? How'd you do that? Do you wash it?" That question is really fucking stupid. But it's just like,
she said it. And the thing is, the really scary thing is, she was actually like the closest co-worker to us, and it didn't come from a place of like maliciousness, or she was genuinely asking this question. So it just concerned me how much like the ignorance behind it really concerned me. I was like, and she's like a beautiful person. She's like sweet. I could not believe she said that. Like, she was like a genuine question, like, do you wash your hair? And she's like, did you change your hair? Isn't your hair always like this? I'm like, do you know the difference between twist and an afro? What? Do I just look the same to you no matter what I do if I have my hair, like, no matter what?
You're just wrong, Bob.
That's just ignorance.
Wow, yeah, it was ignorance.
It was like,
but we had to sit down and talk to her about it afterwards.
I was gonna say, I've always been taught that if somebody ignorance is when you don't know something. That's the definition. So it's like, that's your opportunity to teach them. If they do it again, then they're just fucking rude at that. You know what I'm saying? So that's good that you had that talk and like said like, don't fucking ask that shit. Like, that's just rude. But that's crazy. That is crazy. It's crazy that people like, and it is usually Caucasians that when it comes to like the hair question, where it's just like why you ask that? Why are you like, my favorite is, what did you put in your hair to get those curls? Water, bitch, water. It's fucking water. I can put water in my hair and it does this, okay? Why
does it concern you?
Thank you. Because you know you can't do the same thing that I can do, so what does it matter? What the fuck does it matter? Because if I tell you water and you're just like, oh, that doesn't work for me. Okay, so why'd you fucking ask? Was you going to put the product in your hair? Was it going to work for you? No. What is the point? It's just, people just like not minding their business. Like there's a need for some reason. And I blame social media. I blame social media for everything, almost everything I say. But there is a need for people this generation to be in everybody's business. And there's there's for no reason. Like, they just want to know what your life is like. Like, it's not so they can add value to it. It's just because they want to know what the fuck you're doing. Like, people knowing who you're involved with romantically. Why? Are they going to give you advice? Are they going to support you and be like, hey, I'll pay for your wedding? No, they just want to know who you fucking. Like, they're just nosy. People are just nosy as shit, bro. It's annoying. Like, do you wash your hair? I'm going to have that on my mind for the rest of the damn night. Do you wash your hair?
I can't believe she actually, it was really concerning just because of her innocent look when she said it. Yeah. I just remember my mouth like dropped open. I was just like, she didn't really just answer that. And she's being serious. She wasn't even like joking. She was just being serious. She really wondered if to get your hair like that, you didn't wash it. She's like, if I didn't wash my hair would smell like anybody else's. It'd be dirty. We work in a bar. Of course I wash my hair. For real.
Yeah, I hope that was an educating moment for her, and then she doesn't continue the ignorance from that statement. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully she can learn from that experience.
It's just a good conversation, so I'm just listening.
Nah, yeah, no, it is good. And like, I really enjoy there's variety in it too. It's not like we all have like you got Gbatoh and his privileged ass not getting pulled over by the cop.
What?
And like my experience, like I've never been pulled over by a Pawtucket police officer, and I was in Lincoln, Pawtucket my entire life, you know. So it's crazy. I didn't even know that people had problems with Pawtucket. I didn't even know Pawtucket had police officers, to be honest with you.
Facts.
I've never
seen you answered that question. I've never seen a Pawtucket police officer.
They're always parked out by like School Street. They're always in the gaps there by School Street coming up. Yeah,
that makes sense.
That's where they are.
Okay, I understand. Yeah. I don't go there.
Like posted railroad tracks, like
yeah. I don't go there. No, I don't go there. I don't go to Woonsocket. That's about it. I'll be in East Greenwich. I'll go to Johnston.
East Greenwich?
Yeah. What's wrong with East Greenwich?
Boy,
I go to worse. That's where the air show is at. That's why I be there.
The air show. What's the air show?
In Kingston, it's planes do tricks and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much that's pretty much the basis. They just fly around and do backflips and shit. It's dope. It got canceled this year because Corona. Which I guarantee everybody's like making jokes. They're like, oh, with all this rioting, there's been no spikes in the Corona cases. It's like,
just wait
2 weeks. Give it 2 weeks, bro. Yeah. Give it 2 weeks. That's why I was out there. I was out there with my mask, like, the fuck, back the fuck up.
That's why I ain't go to the gym, yo. I ain't go to the gym. Gym opened yesterday, and I've been trying to work out, Molly. You know what? Let me wait. I want to see the first.
Yeah, my gym said they open in 2 days. I'm gonna give it 2 weeks. We'll see what happens. I still haven't canceled my flight to Texas in August because I'm holding on for hope. Bro.
Just like how I'm holding on my college graduation this year.
like legit, just like 2 seconds ago, my son's mother said, Texas is in a state of disaster. So between that and the pandemic, she's like, I don't know if he's going. I was like, hey man, I understand, but I'm not canceling yet. I'm not doing it.
I checked. Well, prices haven't gone down. I checked flights and they're still like $300.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy.
That's why I didn't book nothing. I was so ready to risk it because I was like, yo, right now nobody's getting penalized for not being at work. So if I have sick time and vacation time, so I could take a 2-week vacation and quarantine afterwards and be okay. You know what I'm saying?
Or wait,
so why not take that trip? Why not take that trip? But then I was also like, but what if I catch COVID? So maybe I shouldn't do it. And like the flight was still $300-something to go.
Yeah, not worth much. Everything's closed right now, so
yeah.
Hopefully, fingers crossed we'll be open in August, but we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, so swinging back real quick to the hashtag Black Lives Matter movement that's going on. So today, I would say that I'm usually on Twitter. It's the platform that I prefer to be on. And there's been a thing today where people are posting nothing for today. I think it's called Blackout Tuesday. And they're just posting a black image. And I've seen it today. And I've seen celebrities talk about it being a good thing. And some celebrities talk about it being a bad thing. So the issue that people are having with it is saying that this time right now is a time to push more of the movement and not to. So if you actually go to the hashtag on Instagram or Twitter and you look for hashtag Black Lives Matter today, you will just see like a wall of black. You're not seeing any of the rioting, the protests, the fundraising events. You're not seeing any information coming out because of the blackout. So people are saying now is not the time to pull this blackout, because it's actually hindering the progress that people are trying to make during this movement. So I just wanted to know, sorry D, I'm just asking a question randomly. I just wanted to know what y'all thoughts on that particular Blackout Tuesday are. Because I felt very mixed about it.
Well, I did it. I post on my music page, and then the Q-Tip and Short Guy Instagram. But the trick there is you shouldn't be hashtagging Black Lives Matter.
Right. So
because of that, because
it's blacking out all of the information. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
So
that I can get behind. That's why I said I felt mixed about it. The person's posting it.
It's the same thing, but it's like two
Right.
different movements at the same time. So it's Blackout Tuesday, hashtag Blackout Tuesday, not hashtag Black Lives Matter, because of that fact where all the other Black Lives Matter videos have been pushed down to the bottom. So I mean, some people are. I went to the hashtag and I was like, oh, I see what they mean by that, where it's like all you see is just black screens and every now and then a post. So I mean, if we go in and people are doing it the right way, then we're doing the right thing. So I'm all for that blackout.
Okay.
This is it. Okay, my bad.
I'm a little mixed about that too, for the simple fact that, like, I also went to the Black Lives Matter hashtag and I saw, like, obviously all the blackout stuff and the screen is black. But then I also saw, like, someone say, like, if the only way that you're getting your information is from just that hashtag, then that's a problem. I was like, you know what? That's true too.
Yeah.
So I saw both sides to it, and I also feel like doing this Blackout Tuesday is also another way to raise awareness for what's going on. So
yeah,
that's why I'm like I'm in the middle. Like, yes, I see what people are talking about as far as like it's pushing everything down, and you can't really see anything. But on the other hand, we're raising awareness, and yeah.
Okay.
I feel like Gbatoh, you agree?
Oh, I've been unaware of the. See,
I've been so naive, why you weren't saying anything. We were all looking at your chat. We were like waiting on you.
He was like, cool. I've been so naive, bro, because I just be going on Twitter. Like, I don't understand. Like, I was still confused though. Like, what's the I understand the Blackout Tuesday, but what's the reason why people shouldn't hashtag Black Lives Matter? That's where I was kind of confused about.
So when you hashtag, it categorizes everything that has that hashtag.
Yeah.
Right? So all the Black Lives Matter movement protests that have been going on, all the videos that people are posting, like saying their piece, all of that gets pushed down because the recents.
Oh, because everybody's doing the black. Yeah. Okay.
So
it's just a black screen of information.
Yeah.
No you can't go and see where to donate. If you were looking, so usually on Twitter, I would go to the Black Lives Matter just to see what's most recent, what's just been posted from the riots, from the protests. The donation pages, like a lot of rioters and protesters have been getting injured and they have pages for donations for them. That's usually what's there. But today, when I went, it was just black screens for as long as I could scroll.
So
it was. I was just loading it, and it was just like black, and then I went to Instagram. It was the same thing. So I understand. Even here in Barbados, a majority, if not 90% of the people on my timeline have posted it in their WhatsApp statuses, their Facebook statuses, their Twitter, their Instagram. So if you think about people all throughout the world, and that's only in Barbados that I know of doing that, that means that the information regarding Black Lives Matter has come down dramatically because of the Blackout Tuesday if you're posting and adding the hashtag incorrectly.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? I was thinking about that is like how worldwide this movement has become, and it's great because like if you think about it, back when there was slavery and segregation issues, there weren't these platforms for everyone to be on the same page. And I feel like now with so many, how many people do you guys actually know that do not have something mixed in them? Like it's good that it's a worldwide thing, because it's like, yo, you might not realize it, but you know somebody who's got black in them. So if you love that person, or that person you fuck with that person, yo, you support them.
My grandmother is let's say Caucasian. And we all got, well, a whole bunch of them, they got the DNA ancestry, and she found out she has black in her as well. So, even if you think that you're like full-blooded, you probably have a small percentage of black in you somewhere. Yeah. Where massa hold on to the slave. Anyway, let's continue.
Somebody was
You know,
I'm not gonna do it. Somebody was just sleeping with the help. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh boy. You know what's crazy too?
Well, my aunt always says, let's not call it sleeping with because it was not consensual. Let's just call it rape. Let's make it sound as bad as it really is.
But for the most part, those movies that we've seen where she was like, "Oh, Massa, I love you," and he was like, "I love you too, Salome." That's not all true. It is mostly rape. It is mostly rape. And
I mean, they do have like a whole thing where people like the people that have kidnapped them and stuff. I can't remember what it's called, so that could also be like a big part of it.
Something complex.
Some syndrome or something.
Stockholm complex.
Yeah, Stockholm.
Exactly.
Yeah. That is a reality. That is a real thing. It is. It really is. I was gonna fucking say something. I don't remember. That shit happens to me a lot. My bad. I forgot what I was gonna say. God damn it.
Oh, but adding on to what you were saying though about the entire world coming together on it, that's something that I have felt really good about, seeing how many people have invested themselves into the issue right now. Because even though it's happening in America, I think it has been having ramifications like worldwide. Like everyone is talking about it, not just in Barbados, but in the different islands. And people have been talking about their own issues regarding what racism has been plaguing them in their own. Because I think it's an issue that we all just need to talk about, and hopefully we can make some change, not just in America, but hopefully worldwide. Yeah. I know personally a big thing that was happening on Twitter today was that people were afraid of speaking out about it because of the fear of not getting to be able to come and visit their family in America, being like their visas being denied and stuff. You know, your president has a very interesting personality, so people have been very wary of actually speaking out on certain things on the internet because of the ramifications of, you know, especially on Twitter, because he's been known to interact with various people on Twitter.
Yeah, he's got Twitter.
So I think also having the voice to speak up for something you don't believe in, even though it could have these kind of ramifications, is super important. Yeah. And it's the only real way that you can have some kind of change, hopefully.
I didn't mean to laugh during what you were saying, but I just found it funny that you were like, you said you're president, and I was like, damn. That's the one time I heard.
Not for long. You know what I'm saying? We're able to vote and get this bastard out of here.
Yeah, we got to vote.
Yeah,
I love how that's still happening. Oh man, they're like, you can't go nowhere, but don't forget to vote. Which I'm just saying, like the way that Trump be saying shit sometimes is just kind of like, how is he still in office?
Because like, there are people that, like, going back to the people that truly believe in him and are ignorant.
Who on your timeline, on any of your social media platforms?
There are people in Barbados that were Trump supporters from the get-go.
Yes, bro.
Wearing the shirts, bro. In Barbados, They don't even vote. They're not Americans, and they're like hardcore believers in Trump. It was like a whole war.
I go to school with them, bro.
Literally, black people. I'm not talking about Caucasians.
That one girl on my Instagram was the first person I saw, and I was just like, oh, y'all exist. Oh, and you're black. The worst part is like, oh, she's black. And I'm just like, oh my god,
they exist, bro. That's the only way he became president. There are a lot of people who aren't outwardly supporting him that still support his what do you call it? Oh, gosh, it's gone to me, but you know what I mean, like his cause. Basically, there are a lot of people out there.
I still haven't figured out what that cause is.
Y'all have. I say y'all as in Americans. I'm not referring to y'all specifically.
Yeah.
Most people never thought he would actually become president, and just as y'all are here telling me right now that he won't come in term, I don't have that faith. I have to have the faith that I have to deal with whatever comes off next, because there's a high possibility that he could probably get back in. He got in the first time.
The reason
people didn't think he would.
I don't have that faith, and the reason I don't have that faith is because watching it the first time around, I said what I was saying was y'all are making a joke out of this, but it's not gonna be funny when he wins. And they're doing the same thing. They're making memes and they're doing all this shit and making it a joke again. And it's like it's not gonna fix it. He's still gonna get back in and do the same shit that you're complaining about because you're not doing anything about it. Like I want to be like, yo, did you vote this time? No, you did not. So what's the point of complaining if you're not gonna do nothing to change that or eradicate the situation? Well, that's why I don't complain about him because I don't vote. I voted one time. It was for Barack Obama, and then
why not?
Because they called me for fucking jury duty, and that shit sucked.
Wait, they did? Wait, come on. You still got to vote this year, man. We got to get this bastard out of here by any means possible.
All right, how do you register to vote? I mean, I'm already registered because like I said, they had me do jury duty. But Gbatoh, if I do jury duty again, I'm bringing your ass with me. I don't give a fuck.
Wait, hold up. On a tangent, is it true that they give you any type of food you want when you go on jury duty?
No.
Oh,
what movie do you be watching, bro?
See, I watched the O.J. Simpson. I watched the O.J. Simpson case, and the jurors they got any type of food they wanted.
Right.
So
that was bribery. That's different. That was. Listen, and you know what else I got a problem with? Okay, all right. Listen, here's my problem. O.J. Simpson is a murderer, right? I'm just saying he's a murderer. Why? But everybody was happy that he got off. Is that a problem to anybody but me? No.
No, just let us win something, bro. Let us win something.
It was the underlying theme that, like,
does it have to be
one time.
But did it have to be murder?
Just let us win. Allegedly, he did not lose that criminal case.
I've had a girl
to jail for a civil case afterwards. Okay, not the criminal case.
The justification in it at the end was good, but it's just like why could only think about we could have let Cosby off?
Huh?
I said we could have let Cosby off. OJ could have went to jail for murder. Murder is crazy. He was doing shit that everybody was doing. Cosby was roofing people, and everybody was doing that back then. We could have been like, no, you know what I'm saying? Damn, my computer's dying. Hold up. My bad. I'm dying. I'm gonna say.
I don't know. We don't know the facts. I don't know if he killed it. We don't know the facts. But all I'm saying is that,
that's what I think.
Go watch that video. I was alive. I saw it happen. The glove fit. The man was like this. Stiff ass hand.
You can only think about one black man getting exonerated for murder. I can think of numerous of white men getting exonerated for murder. You know what I'm saying? This cop got charged with 3rd-degree murder. That's equivalent to vehicular manslaughter. That's like 10 years with parole. So 7.
Y'all saw the whole thing with the autopsy, right? They had an independent coroner come in and run the autopsy again, and they had different findings. Did y'all see that? I think that's crazy to me.
Wait, for who?
Yeah, asphyxiation and something respiratory. And I was like, so what happened to the first guy that said it wasn't that? Like, are any charges gonna come out against him for saying that it wasn't that? It's wild.
It's malpractice. You know that's the system that we live in. It's crazy. More African Americans have been conflicted with this virus. It's just crazy. It's just an evil world we live in. Every day I wake up and I'm like, damn, this gets even worse and worse.
Yeah, no, it's 2020 is definitely gonna have a big ass section in the history books. That is for sure. Like killer bees, though. Like, what episode was that? Because it didn't last long.
Yeah.
Coronavirus was like a 3-part episode. Killer Bees was like a 15-minute segue to fucking Black Lives Matter protest. Like, and it's only fucking June 2nd. Like, what?
We don't even know what the future holds. It still baffles me that, like, at first I thought all officers gotten arrested, but no, only one has been charged.
Only one, and I agree. Those that stood there and watched, like, it don't take a rocket scientist. It does not take somebody who like studied the body to know if you put your neck on a man's your knee on a man's neck, he's gonna stop breathing. Like, you don't know about choking? Like, you don't know that?
But it wasn't. It was only one person that watched. The other three were holding them down. So that's accessory.
They were actually on him.
That's accessory.
Yeah. But, so like how?
Huh? Well, for what? Wasn't the story that he had like a counterfeit?
That he paid with a bad check. That's what they said. He paid with a bad check, but just another excuse.
Oh, bounce check, nigga. What? What the? How does that end in murder? I'm not gonna want to pay for shit. Like, I'm gonna go to the store and be like, I'm gonna use my debit card. Is that okay? Like, you're gonna call the cops? Like, what? How does? And I don't even understand how he ended up on the ground. Like, I don't like watching those videos because, like, man, I'm too.
So you haven't seen it?
The pictures are enough for me, bro. The pictures and like the clips of him saying he can't breathe. It's enough for me to know, like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Because even if in the beginning of the video I see him like take a swing at a cop, the end result is still way too fucking much. Way too much. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how it started. It did not need to end like that. So like it's just like crazy. But like knowing that how it started was because of like a form of payment not being like valid, and he's
allegedly not being valid. Allegedly.
Right. And it's just like, okay, there's no allegedly here with the fact that you still fucking choked him to death. Like what the fuck? That's crazy for me. It's so much. It's too much, man.
I think they're always gonna find some type of justification to make it okay that they did this. Like, oh, he was a drug dealer, or it looked like he was robbing something.
To be honest, I want to see the trial because I don't know. I want to know what the defense attorney is going to present. I really want to know, or not even the defense. I want to, the defense, because they're in defense. Like, I want to know, what are they going to bring to the table? Like, what facts are you going to bring and say that gave you the right to kneel on somebody's neck? I just want to know.
Yeah. What force? Like, I like. Can you ask your brother for us? What time during training did they teach him to do that?
I just remember one instance that he told me. This was back then, because remember, my brother's been a Providence police officer for about to be 3 years now. His end of like he got sworn in August of 2017. But I remember during he had to go through all the training and stuff. And I remember during the combat classes, I always asked, I'm like, yo, so why do you guys be like so aggressive sometimes? And he always talked about like the first time when they were getting, because there's like sections of the parts of becoming cop, and there was a part where they were talking about self-defense, and he said the first time there was something that they watched, like a clip. It was a clip of this homeless man on the street, and they don't like homeless people on the street for some reason. They always want them to, like, they always call them a bus or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. The homeless man was on the street, and it was this like big fat dude who's on the street, and him and another cop were tussling. The homeless dude ended up taking the cop's gun and shooting the guy to death. So, like, I guess that's one of the first traumatic experiences that they watched, and that's why they think they need to have some type of brute force.
Oh, they give them PTSD in training. Like, that's crazy. Yo, that's crazy.
So that's one thing that I remember him telling me that time. But it's just that's one thing I always stick. I'm like, wow. So that's, you guys are not even sworn in. You guys have not even been on the field yet. That's one of the first videos that they show you that in self-defense, if anything goes a certain way. Imagine somebody showing you that. It changes your whole mentality.
It does. I get that, but like being circumstantial myself, so like I'm not gonna come at nobody unless they come at me type shit. So it's kind of like, if that's not what's happening, why is that still how they react? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, there's a video going around on Facebook right now, and it literally is just clips of all black people just getting murdered by cops. So like, it starts off with and I'm really bad. I'm so bad with the names of these people, so forgive me when I just say that guy. But the guy who was shot in the middle of, I'm pretty sure it was a park. He turned around to run from the cops and shot him in the back mad times.
I think that was that my I don't know the names, to be honest. I know the names, but I can't put the videos to the names. You can just name the names, like Michael Brown, Philando Castillo, like
But
those are the most prevalent names, Eric Garner and all that.
So, but the video, that's the first video, is he turned around to run from them, and he got shot. And it's like, oh, so what force was he using against you for you to shoot him in the back? Like, what happened to shooting to damn D, what was the word we came up with? Like, to stop them from
de-escalate the situation.
Thank you, de-escalation. Thank you. God damn. Like, what happened to the taser? Or fucking just, how about run up behind them and like, grab him, take him down to the ground? Why is the first thing you do when a man turns his back to you?
A black man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you've seen all the protests. A black man. It's different. You've seen the protest of these white guys holding AR-15s. It's when a black man is running away, they get to shoot.
That's what I don't get either. Wasn't a bunch of white like Trump supporters out there protesting a goddamn virus with guns and shit? Why are they not? Now, no offense, I'm not trying to promote hate, but like, stupid people should be the ones that they going after, because it's like, you're protesting a virus with guns, bro. How is that gonna work? Like, what? I don't understand. Is the virus gonna get up and be like, oh, I'm so sorry I bothered you guys for 2 months, I'm gonna leave now? Like, that shit didn't make sense. And for the fact that they were just openly out there with guns and nobody bothered them, but we have a fucking protest and it's just like, we're the worst people in the world. That don't make sense.
It just goes back to the ignorance, you know, the ignorance that people have. People have the right to be ignorant. They have to learn. So it's crazy. I was up all that last night. I was watching this. Have you guys ever heard of Jane Elliott?
I mean, I've heard that name before.
Yeah. So Jane Elliott is this old like civil rights advocate, some old white lady, and she always has an experiment. So she was on the Oprah show. The most famous. The experiment is she has like a lesson plan of a group of mixed races, right? And she doesn't segregate them by color. She segregates them by she segregates them by eye color. So she puts all the brown people, like the people that have brown eyes, in one section, and the people with blue eyes in another section. And when the people with blue eyes come to town, so they have a whole lesson, but basically the overall moral of the story is like, while she's doing the experiment, she is like degrading she's degrading the individuals that have blue eyes, which resembles how black people have been oppressed. So moral of the story basically talks about like how throughout time, because I want to see, I got to show you the video. I wish I could share the screen and show you some clips of the video, because it's more to explain that I can't really explain right now. But like, moral of the story is that while she's degrading, or not degrading, I won't say that. She's berating these individuals that have blue eyes. Most individuals are white, and they necessarily can't take it for that long. So they ended up leaving the room. And one of the famous sayings, she says that if this girl with blue eyes couldn't take it for a couple hours and she's leaving, imagine people that have been born a certain skin color and they've been oppressed for their whole life. So it's just...
If you want to.
Huh?
You're able to share the screen if you want.
Okay. Perfect. I was watching the... See, I've never been a host of a freaking Zoom call. This is kind of cool. Because normally, I freaking have those freaking Zoom classes where it's like all these other professors being in charge. Let me see if I can find the video. I was literally watching it today.
My sister actually sent it.
What?
I'm playing video.
If black people said, let's all go out and get guns and start the protest, that would be the fastest change of gun law culture in this country. Yeah. If you started to have African Americans buying out AR-15s or whatever you want to call them, and going out and protesting legally with legal weapons, you'd see a change in the laws, and that's it.
Fact. That is a fact. Yeah, that's a fact. They're not wrong. They're like, niggas got guns. Goddamn. Like, they were quick. Yeah, that's sad, but it's true. It is sad, but it's true. How do we do that?
All right, I got it. I'll show you the small clip. I'm not gonna.
We can't. Sorry. Go ahead.
All right. See, I gotta. Damn, I don't know how to do that. Oh, that desktop? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Turn it up on YouTube.
Years ago, when we were still a local talk show here in Chicago, Jane was on the show, and we did, those of you in Chicago might know this.
Yeah, I actually watched this.
We did an experiment with Jane, that she's done this for many, many years. She's done it for corporations and universities across the country. It's the blue-eyed, brown-eyed experience, or blue-eyed, green-eyed experiment, where you have explain the experiment, Jane, please.
You separate groups according to eye color, and you place those who have the wrong color eyes in the position in which we place minority group members and women in this society, and gays, and people with disabilities. And most of the people that I work with are white, so-called adult males. And those blue-eyed white males, when they are placed in a situation in which they are treated the way women and people of color are treated in this country, react exactly the way women and people of color react in this country.
They get angry.
Angry. I have been threatened with death numerous times. I've been hit by a white male during this exercise. I've had a knife pulled on me. And these are all white males who say they wouldn't have a problem if it happened to them. And they can't understand Los Angeles because they don't know why those people are so angry. Last winter, we were invited to a card party in the town in which I live. And in 1968, I did this exercise in a very informal way with a group of Rotarians in that same town. I was sitting at a card table, and an older man came up to me, and they started to introduce him to me. And I said, I've known him for years. And he said, I remember you. I've never forgotten you, and I've never forgiven you either. I said, what'd I do? He said, I have blue eyes. I said, oh, you're a Rotarian, aren't you? He said, yes, and I've never forgiven you. The man is over 75 years old. He went through that experience for 15 minutes at a Rotary Club luncheon. And he has never forgotten it in 24 years. He is still angry. You tell me about anger. That's 15 minutes and he's still angry.
And what happens in the experiment?
Well, I would you too. That you have those green eyes. That's the problem you're having, the trouble you're having with your daughter. Because you have those green eyes and you aren't as smart as brown-eyed people.
Fucking shade. Wow.
Now, watch this boy's reaction. He goes, excuse me, do you think he's a little angry? Fat. You see, white folks are really super sensitive.
What'd you say, Ron? What'd you say?
I said, where's your proof that brown-eyed people are smarter than blue-eyed people?
I tell you, brown-eyed people. You just listen. Now, this is going to be an effort for you. This is going to be an effort for you because you aren't accustomed to listening. White males are accustomed to telling things; they aren't accustomed to listening. Now, brown-eyed people are responsible for the fact that you have electricity. Many of the components for generating and transmitting electricity were invented by brown-eyed people. Brown-eyed people gave us our alphabet. Brown-eyed people gave us our numeration system. Brown-eyed people gave us the paper on which we write these anonymous letters to me that tell me that brown-eyed people are inferior. When you go home, you people do not pray for me, particularly you. Don't you pray for me. Because I don't have to worry about that. All of a sudden, you ain't going to pray for me. Now, brown-eyed people are the ones who originated or who founded every major religion on this earth. No white people have ever founded a major religion. Now, you need to realize the contributions that have been made to society, to civilization, by brown-eyed people, by people of color. I'm talking about people of color here, folks. And most of us are not aware of those things because we live in a racist society and because we are educated by a racist school system that only teaches us about white contributions. And that's a fact. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. If we would start telling the truth in schools, we would not have racism. We could cure racism in this country. I heard somebody...
It's a long video. I don't want to take most of your time.
Yo, even Oprah's face was like, oh fuck. She's like, facts. No, these are, wow, that was.
Yeah. So that was like the aftermath, and then she had like a group forum. But like, if you were to search up Jane Elliott, there's like a 50 minute. I didn't want to show the whole thing. It's like a 50 minute of them demonstrating the whole thing, and like one of the women started crying and stuff.
That's dope. Because it's not wrong. It's not wrong. If you go back and you learn your history, we were here first. That's how it started. We started closer to the sun. We had more melanin. And then we moved down to where there was less sun. That's when the melanin in our skin started to dissipate because the melanin is to protect our skin from the sun. We were here first. We came first. So it's crazy that somewhere someone along the lines was like, "You're inferior to me." That blows my mind. Because if you just look at history, man, it will tell you this is our world. We was here first. It's crazy. I don't like racism. I don't like hate. I wish it would all stop, but you know, that's on us, like I said before. All right, man. We got anything else, D?
No, that is all.
All right. I appreciate you guys being with us today. That was a really good conversation. Very long conversation, but it was worth it. And I feel like we did not skip a beat. We did not miss a thing. We said everything we needed to say, and we made our point, got our points across. So I thank you guys very, very, very much for joining us today.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good chat for sure. I'm gonna go and watch the end of that video. I've watched it before, but it was many years ago, so I'm definitely gonna go and check that out because she really went in on that man.
You guys see the video, the full one, because she goes in, like when she's doing the whole experiment, she goes in on all the people that are blue-eyed. So it's like it's kind of riveting. So, but
and it's really interesting. They know it's an experiment, and they still get super upset.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's wild.
And that's the crazy part is like you knew what I was doing. You knew that this was an experiment. So it is kind of crazy. And it's an enlightening experiment because it's like that was 15 minutes. That was 15 minutes and you couldn't handle it. That's crazy. But, all right, D, go ahead. Do your thing.
All right. So thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow our Instagram at I don't know what Instagram is, but let me just go through it.
Q-Tip and the short guy. I'm on it right now. Hold up. It's never mind.
Anyway, you can listen to our audio on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all the podcasts and streaming, little audio things. Yeah. Anyway, thank you. Bye.
Also, hey, wait, while Gbatoh's here. I'm the short guy. Because last time I said something in the podcast last time where I was like somebody I work with. So now that you're here, I'm gonna put you on blast. I'm the damn short guy. He keeps calling me Q-Tip. I don't know fucking why. I look at that man right there. Look at his hair. He's the Q-Tip. Like tall ass Q-Tip. All right, fine. All right, I'm out.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything.